I want you to imagine you're laying in a hospital bed, just waiting desperately to finally go home after a 2-month battle with death itself. All is well, but you soon begin to have your heart racing. Your breathing becomes labored, and you are sweating profusively. Within 5 minutes, you've entered cardiac arrest and respiratory distress. The door is shut. Your call light is completely out of reach. And that's when it kind of hits you. No one is coming. You are literally dying alone. For every shout for help becomes nothing but a whisper. And then you fade to black. Dying is like falling asleep. You don't realize it until you wake up. So live or die. Make your choice. This quote comes from one of my favorite horror movies, Saw. And it's a choice my family and I have had to make on multiple occasions. We all make choices. Choices every day that affect the outcome of our lives. I'm up here today, breathing and alive because of a split-second decision made by my respiratory therapist. She chose to skip her lunch hour in order to come by me first, completely oblivious to what had just happened. That's when she found me, unresponsive, with my eyes wide open. And a week later, I was home for Thanksgiving, eating mashed potatoes. So, now what? Right? You go through all that fighting for your life, all the suffocating, all the doctors, all the thoughts and prayers that come your way. All of it to come to an abrupt end, like nothing ever happened. Like a soldier coming home from deployment. It's actually sometimes coming home that can be a lot harder. Because people don't always remember the invisible war still raging on inside of you, dealing with the leftover trauma and living with survivor's guilt. But I'm a disabled person. Let's keep this happy, positive, inspirational, am I right? I will admit, being disabled does have its perks and benefits, other than Medicare. I remember a few years ago, I was talking to someone and I told them, I can get away with almost anything, more than the average person. Part of that is because people, while intentional or not, automatically have a lower expectation of me. But I use that to my advantage, because then I can slip under the radar a little bit. This one time, I asked my sister if I could go on a date with her very beautiful best friend at the time. My sister says, "Get in line, haha." Immediately I respond with, "Okay, disabled people can skip lines, you dummy." Us disabled people, we're natural problem solvers because we always have a problem about something. We're also pretty good at keeping secrets. Whether it's our own secrets or the secrets of other people. I suppose part of it is because we're seen as rather trustworthy. And that's great, because it shows that some people do see more of us beyond the medical problems. And at the same time, we still get the ideas and meanings put down on us, right when someone looks at someone like me, thinking, again, while intentional or not, they look at someone like me and think, oh, that person is unable to work. That person is unable to get married or have a family. And I kid you not, one time someone indirectly said to me, oh, it's a shame he will never be able to sexually satisfy his lover. Okay, I'll give him that one. Most people can't satisfy their lover. So that's okay, we have that in common, at least. But when you put people in a box like that and you mislabel them in your own way and have those lower expectations of them, you forget that they also have hopes, dreams, goals, aspirations, heartache, fears, and their own stories. And this goes far beyond disability. Like, wow, I'm disabled, whoop-de-doo. It's more than that. What about the single mother or father? Are they just a single mother or father? Or a person of color, your non-English speaking neighbor? Or even the gay and trans family member of yours who just wants to be your friend when no one else will. We make these definitions and we make the other person feel invisible, unheard, alone. I'm going to show you a quick statistic here, and that when you look at this statistic on the mental health and the mental distress of people with being also disabled, there's a difference. People with disabilities have a different and higher level of mental distress. Being disabled isn't all simple and having a life of hospitals and funerals. I'm also going to tell you that it's not just about inspiring people to make yourself feel better. Because I hate to burst your bubble, but I've done things too. And right now you're thinking, okay, Jordan, come on, get real. What could you have possibly done? Someone like you, what could you have done? Well, today's your lucky day, because I'm going to give you my confession. Because I've hurt people. I've really hurt people in my life. Some of my most loved ones. I've lost relationships. I've broken those relationships because of my own stupidity, ignorance, negligence, and outright fear because I didn't know what to do, or just, I don't know, emotional immaturity, I suppose. Some of these relationships I'll never get back and I'll never see again. I've manipulated people. I've been addicted to alcohol and opioids especially, while in the hospital on a couple different occasions. And my most recent occasion, it even came to the point of an accidental overdose because I kept begging for more, and sweet-talking the nurses. But that's another story. Sure, I may have some medical problems, but you never know about everything else unless I told you. And you know what's crazy? With how I just said I wanted more and more, we as people, we always want more and more, but we never want to learn more about other people. I'm going to show you another statistic here really quick. 1 in 4 adults, millions of people, that's in America alone, have a disability. I'm sure with this statistic, it's going to depend on the definition. But, that can be a little scary when you look at it like that. I was thinking of a word recently And that word is xenophobia. Do you know what that word means? Typically, we associate it with like the fear of foreigners or the fear of strangers from another country. Let's think about the US-Mexican border crisis, for example. And it's fear. It's also the fear of unknown things. Or actually, I should really say, it's the fear of all unknown things. And I get it, people are weird. People are different. Dr. Jordan Peterson, in his lecture series on the psychology of Genesis, once said, "Humans are very, very strange creatures," end quote. And I can attest to that because you're looking at one right now. But just because people are different, or we may make up our own stories about them, and that people are weird, maybe people are strange, whether it was all the people I aforementioned, just because you don't agree with them or even affirm them, that doesn't mean we can't still love them and try to understand them. That's true love. It's more than just a feeling. It's an active choice. I'm talking here about love, and but you already know that I'm a man of sorrow with everything I mentioned to you before. It all comes back to fear because it's our human nature. We fear decay. We fear aging. We fear, death itself. That little thing in the back of our mind that reminds us, hey, this is where you're going, remember. And so, contemporary philosopher Roger Scruton calls this the good, the beautiful, and the true. In other words, it's an objective representation of that there's an absolute good, beauty, and truth that we all strive for, whether we're aware of it or not. For example, the peak of human physicality, the beauty of it, whether it's a warrior, a gladiator, or today, it would just simply be the superstar athlete that we all watch and want to be when we grow up. Or celebrities and influencers who showcase the picturesque lifestyle we all hope to strive for, but we'll never obtain it, and we know it, and it drives us crazy. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but take a good look at me, because whether you like it or not, this is your future. In the end, disability insidiously catches up to all of us. But that's okay. You know why? Because there's a beauty to that in itself. It's beautiful because it's just proof of another aspect we all share in the human experience. And disability is different now than it was decades ago. No longer are we being thrown into institutions to be put away to rot. I've been told to do that before. No longer are our parents being told our death sentences and to just take your child home, make them comfortable, and just enjoy the ride while you have it. We're living longer. We have higher education degrees. Stephen Hawking, anybody? Hello. We're business owners, one of which I'm working on as we speak. We're getting married with children. I like going out to the bar and just talking to girls and being like, hey girl, are you wheelchair accessible? So I ask you, on behalf of all the disabled, all the outcasts, all the rejects, all the losers, and everyone in between. What do you want me to be? Do you want the disabled to be better so that you can feel better about yourself and use them as some kind of healing mechanism for you? I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not your angel. I'm you. So again, I ask, or I should say, live or die. Make your choice. Because to quote author Neil Donald Walsh, make a life, not a living.